Hey everybody, I'm Jill Redfern and welcome to Third Shift Movement Shop, home of Literal Technique. This tutorial is an introduction to the Pectoralis Majors. In Literal Technique, the Pec Majors are one of the 7 muscles central to our alignment. Unlike the other central muscles though, the Pec Majors' primary function is not to align, stabilize, or move the vertebrae. Their primary function is to move the humerus. I've included them in the 7 muscles central to our alignment though because their contraction has the ability to destabilize the vertebrae. So let's take a look at the anatomy of these muscles and see what they look like and where they are in your body, and then we'll talk about their significance in stabilization and alignment of the vertebrae. Okay. Here is a photo of the pectoralis majors. You can see that it's a pair of muscles. Those green arrows are pointing directly up at them. The Pec Majors have 4 origination points and 1 insertion point. We use these muscles in all movements that stabilize the vertebrae and all movements of the upper body. Origination point number 1, you can see the circle at the top, the yellow circle that's circling half of the collarbone. The half of the collarbone closest to the sternum is the first origination point of the Pec Majors. The second origination point is the manubrium and the body of the sternum. Remember, the sternum is one bone that has 3 aspects: the manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process down at the bottom. This circle is showing you the manubrium and the body of the sternum. Origination point number 3 is actually the costal cartilage of ribs 1 through 6 or 1 through 7. The cartilage is underneath the muscle, so I'm showing with this circle on the right side of the photo where the cartilage is, and you can see the other Pec Major would be on top of that. And then finally, number 4. Origination point number 4 is actually the aponeurosis of the external obliques, which is what this muscle is underneath the Pec Major there. You can see that circle, which is sort of representing the place in which there's an overlap between the origination of the Pec Majors and the aponeurosis of the external obliques. Remember, an aponeurosis is connective tissue, similar to the tendon. Tendons are cord-like. An aponeurosis is a flat sheet of connective tissue, and that's what that gray area is in the center of the external oblique underneath the Pec Major. The Pec Major has 1 insertion point, and you can see that yellow circle on the left side of the photo showing you where the muscle inserts at the top of the humerus. So now we have an idea of what these muscles look like and where they are in your body. I want to take a couple steps back and do a quick sort of review. In Literal Technique, the bones central to our alignment are the 33 vertebrae, the skull, the rib cage barrel, and the pelvic barrel. The 7 muscles central to our alignment are all muscles that stabilize, align, and move these bones. The skull, the rib cage barrel, and the pelvic barrel all derive their alignment directly from the 33 vertebrae. If the vertebrae move, they move. If the rib cage barrel is doing something we don't want it to do, we have to check the alignment at the vertebrae. So let's go back now to the Pec Majors, which are right here. They're originating up at the collarbone, which you can see connect to the sternum. The sternum is an aspect of the ribcage barrel. The pecs also connect to the body of the sternum, and this is the manubrium and this is the body. They originate directly from those aspects of the sternum. The sternum is an aspect of the ribcage barrel. Then there's the costal cartilage of the actual ribs, which is another origination point, which you can see are an aspect of the ribcage barrel. Then also just remember the external obliques originate on the surfaces of ribs 5 through 12, on the surfaces of the ribs. So they're going to be, in order to do that, they're going to go down on a diagonal in order, this is rib 12, 11 and 12 are down here. So what we've got, if the Pec Majors originate at the costal cartilage of ribs 1 through 6 or 1 through 7, this is 7, this is 6, this is 5. If the aponeurosis is an origination point, the aponeurosis of the externals is an origination point, we've got some overlap here of the Pec Major and the external oblique. The insertion point, of course, is here, right about here on the humerus. This is the humerus. So what we have is origination at aspects of the ribcage barrel. The ribcage barrel derives its alignment directly from the vertebrae, specifically the thoracic vertebrae. So when I say that the contraction of the pecs will destabilize the vertebrae, what I mean is the destabilization will move the ribcage barrel. If you are overzealously contracted in the Pec Majors, you have the ability to bring the collarbone forward and sink the sternum. When you do that, you are moving the vertebrae. So our goal in including the Pec Majors as part of the 7 muscles central to our alignment is to be very, very aware of the extent of our contraction. So when I say all movements that stabilize the 33 vertebrae and all movements of the upper body, the Pec Majors, we use those in all of those movements. What we're really talking about is being very aware of the extent of our contraction of those muscles so that we have an openness. That openness that we are constantly striving for, awareness of the Pec Majors will help us with that. It'll also help us with the stabilization of the 33 vertebrae and our alignment. Okay, so in your class this week, before you start class, lie on the floor, close your eyes, and visualize the Pec Majors. See their origination, see their insertion, see their contraction, destabilize and stabilize the vertebrae. Okay, I'll see you next week.